Namaste, this is Dr. Y.S. Rao. In the previous session, we have discussed about the philosophy of outcome-based education and as a faculty perspective, how to create a course file. Just to summarize about the outcome-based education is surrounds around learning objectives, those 6 levels of Bloom's taxonomy, and also the graduate attributes of program outcomes, the 12 program outcomes. However, while implementing the outcome based education, it's always the top down approach, starting with the institute vision, mission, then various programs, vision, mission, and then program educational objectives, program specific outcomes. Then the scheme and syllabus is designed. While designing the scheme and syllabus, one has to take care of not only the program core, program electives, also the program outcomes, the 12 graduate attributes. And while designing the syllabus, one has to take care of the learning objectives of the Bloom's taxonomy. Those 6 levels should be taken care in the course outcomes. Finally, while executing your outcome based education, it goes from bottom to top, where every faculty, while teaching the subject, they takes care of the course outcomes and implementation through various activities, various evaluation methods, and various rubrics, and they contribute to the program outcomes and program specific outcomes. However, at the same time, all the program outcomes are not taken care by the electives or the core subjects. A program may also consist of liberal learning courses, HSS courses, humanities, experiential learning, internship programs, sports, and various other activities. So these are all various ways of some expert talks and so on. These are all various ways of contributing to the program outcomes. Like we have discussed in the previous session, our first 5 POs, they directly, indirectly map to program core subjects. However, the remaining 7 program outcomes, they have to be mapped with the help of the humanities, projects, internship programs, activities, and so on. That's why the target level might not be same for the first 5 POs and the remaining 7 POs, subject to subject. So there will be a scaling based on the subject. So while designing the syllabus, one has to look at the strength and weakness. So in this session, mainly we will discuss about how to do the scaling while designing. Also let us discuss about how the calculations are done, what are the formulas are used while calculating the attainments, and at SPIT the grading system, hybrid grading system, and some resources which are available for the benefit of students and faculty during the teaching and learning processes. In the previous session, we have discussed about computer architecture and organization, how to create a OBE file. As we have discussed, the course outcomes are based on the learning objectives, that is Bloom's taxonomy, and they need to be mapped with the program outcomes which are given by accreditation bodies. However, like we said in the past, first 5 POs usually map with the program core, program electives. The remaining 7 program outcomes need to be achieved with the help of liberal learning courses, HSS humanity courses, experiential learning, mini major projects, industrial internship, research internship, the activities which we conducted, various cultural, academic, non-academic activities. They contribute to the remaining 7 POs. The target of CO is always based on the faculty and the evaluation processes at your institute. However, whenever you teach a course, you have to refer the previous targets. Have they achieved? If they achieved, then you have to increase by a few percentage. If they are not achieved, keep it as it is. However, make sure you take extra efforts in achieving these course outcomes with the help of various teaching and learning processes. While calculating the strength of the program outcomes, whether the strength is 100% matching the course outcome to the program outcome, or medium matching, or weakly matching, accordingly you can give a scale from 3 to 1. How many COs are contributing to that PO? You have to total them and average it, then you will come to know the strength of that particular PO. So this is your target level. The strength of the PO is the target at the end of the coursework and evaluation system, where you will be doing the assessment of the PO attainment table. So this first column, target correlation or the strength, this first column of various POs which are mapping, and also various PSOs it is mapping. The strength is coming from the first table. So for the last table, the first column is coming from the first table, the last row. However, like I said, while calculating the target, maybe you can also think of some percentage in terms of 70, 80 based on your course. But in general, PO1 to PO5 generally are the highest strength. PO6 to PO12 are weaker for majority of the program specific courses, electives, program core. But however, other courses, humanities, liberal learning, experiential learning, there the PO6 to PO12 strength may be more. So accordingly, you can change the multiplication factor to the maximum strength. So that is the strength which you will be calculating while setting the PO, the CO by what percentage it is matching to the PO. Then, like we have discussed, how do you do the evaluation of whether the course outcomes are attained or not? You conduct various ISC, in semester examination, mid semester examination, end semester examination. Also, if the subject has a lab course, which experiment is mapping to which course outcome, for how many marks you are doing the evaluation. So in short, more or less, that is the mapping part of your direct assessment tool. Indirect assessment is always a course feedback of CO1 to CO5 end of the semester. You are supposed to take the feedback of whether CO1 to CO5 by what percentage on the scale of 1 to 5 you have achieved. Alright, so this attainment level, as we have discussed, ESE MSc is generally a paper based exam conducted by exam section. That's the reason where the scaling is slightly tough, slightly difficult. However, ISC is medium and the course exit is a little bit liberal. That's why 60 to 80% is considered as a medium. However, in end semester examination, 40 to 60% achievement itself is considered as a medium. So that's how one can think of the quality of the assessment. And then while doing the direct assessment, CO attainment, the weightage given for IS is 0.2 percentage. So whatever is your ISC attainment in semester exam, before we calculate the CO attainment, the weightage given to ISC components is only 2.2%. That is you can say 20%. Similarly, the weightage given to mid-semester examination is 20%, and end semester examination is given 60%. So finally, the direct CO attainment is the combination of 20% of ISC, 20% of MSc, 60% of the ESC. Similarly, for a lab course, when you calculate the CO attainment, direct CO attainment, you have multiple experiments. So you calculate the average value, and that average value weightage, right, you calculate the attainment and multiply it by 0.8, means 80% weightage to the in semester. And at end of the semester, that laboratory course might be having exam, either external exam or a quiz or a experiment, that should be given weightage of 20%. So direct CO attainment level for laboratories 80% to ISC, 20% to ESC. Final course attainment consists of theory as well as lab. So when you have the CO attainment levels here, 50% weightage is given to theory, 50% weightage is given to laboratory, because generally it is recommended that in an outcome based education, it is learning by doing. So 50% weightage should be given to most of the technical courses for laboratory component. The indirect assessment of the course outcomes is always with the help of a feedback at the end semester. Now, on the scale of 1 to 5, when you are asked for the course outcomes, whatever is the percentage you get out of 1 to 4, finally you have to calculate the weighted average. So that is, whatever is the percentage you get on every course outcome, if how many ones are there, how many twos are, whatever the percentage of ones, whatever is the percentage of twos, what is the percentage of threes, fours and fives, divided by 5 will give you the weighted average. Now this weighted average, try to compare with the attainment levels given here for the course exit, that is the third row. That will give you your indirect CO attainment. Then finally, if you bring the direct attainment, indirect attainment here, and again 80% weightage is given to direct attainment, 20% weightage is given to indirect attainment. So you calculate the value here, you feed it here. And then what is your target level of CO attainment? You said 70%. 70% of the maximum. So 70% of the is 3 is 2.1. Or here we said 80% of the maximum CO is 80 into 0.8 into 3 is 2.4. So this is your target, CO target, and you will get the CO attained here. Then you will come to know whether you have the target is achieved or not. If the target achieved is less than the target set, then give a action plan, or you set a new target if it is already achieved, or you can continue with the same target if you decide so. So this completes the kind of formulas and grading we do it. Alright, so finally we try to compare with the program outcomes. So the first column has come from, as I said, from the PO strength, which we already calculated in the first table, last row. Now how many POs, for every PO, how many COs are mapped? So calculate the CO direct, CO indirect sum of the CO. For example, in this case, CO1 to CO4, CO6 are mapping. So add them all together and average it into now this, the third 3 by 3, that is a numerator, is nothing but the correlation strength. Not necessary that correlation strength is 3. However, if your PO2 is 2.3, that means it is total COs matching. That means CO2, CO3, CO4, add the attainment level divided by 3 into 2.3 divided by 4 is the scaling factor. So similarly for the indirect attainment level. So that will give you the PO attainment. In PO attainment, again the weightage is given 80% to the direct, 20% to the indirect attainment, and then action plan, your PO by what percentage you have attained, if not, what is the action plan, so that next time this should be taken care. So that's how the CO target, CO attainment, PO target, PO attainment. You can also have a program specific outcomes, their target, their attainment. While doing this scaling for overall direct attainment, you can first, like the formulas which we have used is average the attainment into total COs mapped to the PO into strength by 3. That's generally we do it. Similarly, the other formulas which we have used, similarly for indirect attainment, if we are using PO attainment of direct and indirect, 0.8%, 80% of direct, 20% of the indirect. That's is the our OBE assessment. However, if you are doing only ISC and ESC, then probably your multiplication factor may be different. Say for example, if you have taken only 2 evaluation systems, but there is no mid-semester exam, and you are giving a weightage only 20% to ISC, 60% to ESC, then probably you'll have to scale it. So that means the X factor you have to calculate. That turns out to be 1.25 in this case. Similarly, if you look at the other mechanisms, say for example, you have taken ESC and MSc, no ISC component. That means you have to scale it by only ESC or MSc, you have to scale it by 3.33 and so on. So the scaling factor, multiplication factor, you have to calculate in such a way that you will achieve the 100%. Though you have conducted only either MSc or ISc, only ESc, and so on. So these are the scaling factors one has to consider while calculating the CO attainment, PO. The grading for liberal learning courses. What is the percentage achieved and convert into its equivalent grade. Liberal learning are generally non-paper based, activity based learning, so the grading may be slightly different. Under the revised rules and regulations, the liberal learning courses are not considered while calculating the CGPA. However, they are credit courses. So during the examination, what are the disciplinary rules? What are the actions if we violate? All these rules are mentioned in the academic rules and regulations. Now let us see the manual for the all the recorded videos of outcome based education, teaching and learning evaluation model, which I have explained in the previous sessions, is published on SPIT website. So these are the resources are available. Similarly, the students, when they require the editable files of course files, index files, for the faculty course files and vision mission statements are published at this link. Under academics, if you see the departments, in telecommunication department, under R&D, you can find out the kind of projects which are implemented. At the end, you will find the guidelines in general for every engineering student, UG, PG, PhD. What are the guidelines to be followed? And we have provided the templates for UG to PG, right from the title proposal to the synopsis and the thesis or the dissertation for PG students. Or BTech students, it's a project report. What are the templates one should follow? And how to use the LaTeX, which is an open source software for writing these reports. So those templates are provided. Similarly, while writing the technical reports, what are the do's and don'ts? And while giving the presentation of project, dissertation, thesis, what are the presentation styles, how to prepare the slides are mentioned in these videos. So video links are provided. Similarly, while LaTeX, what are the Linux commands and how to write conference papers and journal papers, other open source tools, how to use them. So these are various resources with audio video templates are provided under this link extcspit.ac.in projects. Resources are provided. Alright, so the other resources are if you see the exam, there is a examination manual. You will come to know how the evaluation is done, how the grades are calculated, how the CGPA is calculated, what are the passing rules, what are the promotion rules. Again, it is mentioned in this examination manual. Time to time, maybe a few rules may be amended, so one should go through it. But most importantly, the scaling factor. The scaling factor one can see is that the weightage given for a theory paper for ISC is 20%, MSc is 20%, ESC is 60%. the weightage given to for a laboratory course is 80% and M-Sense is 20%. However, the expert committee of the department, they can choose with the approval of Dean Academics for ISE for theory somewhere between 10 to 30%, MSc somewhere between 10 to 30%, ESC somewhere between 30 to 60%, and so on. But this is a pre-approval is required if you would like to change the weightage what is already approved. Now let us calculate what is the weightage given based on the number of credits for a theory and number of credits for the laboratory, and together combined how it will contribute to one passing grade of 100% out of 100. For example, if you have a 3 credits of a theory course and 1 credit of a laboratory course, how the weightage is calculated. For ISC, the weightage is given 15% to the theory, 15% to the MSc of the theory, and 45% of the weightage given to the theory, and 20% weightage is given to the lab ISC, and 5% weightage given to the lab ESC. So in short, 75% is contributing by theory, 25% is contributing by the lab, will become 100% for a regular courses where the number of credits for theory is 3 and number of credits for a laboratory is 1. However, it's not same if theory is 2 credits or if theory is 1 credit and so on, or if there is no laboratory credits, then how do they contribute to my 100%? For a HSS course, this is not applicable. It has a different grading system because you do not have any MSc, ESC. It may be based on the assessment. And now the final grade. The AA grade, top grade, is a relative grading. Even the bottom grade is also a relative grading. So that means the boundaries are fixed on relative basis, and within the boundaries the steps are done based on the absolute grading. So that means once you calculate the summative assessment of the class of the subject for a specific subject, how many students have given that particular exam in the entire institute, then find out the percentage of how many students should be given AA grade, somewhere between 5 to 10% is the limit. Other than that, also calculate what is the median of that class divided by 2, median by 2. So below median by 2, if any student scores the marks, they are declared as a fail grade. So once I have a SA value, that is summative index, below that, once I fixed my AA grade, below that my AB grade to median by 2 is divided into 6 equal intervals. Allocated the grades in a chronologically. So their grades are allocated, remaining 6 grades are allocated between AB and median by 2. So that is how the Gaussian curve or the bell curve is maintained for every course by the department and the department faculty every semester based on the class summative assessment, SA. SA value is calculated every examination. So that maintains the quality of the teaching, so that even if there is a difficult question paper, even the assessment is tough, there won't be any issue. As discussed, let us look at the absolute and relative grading system. All the students who have scored below half the median of the class are declared as a fail grade. All the students have scored more than the summative assessment essay will receive AA grade, top grade, 10 pointers. Now between the AB, that is essay, my essay value, to DD is divided into 6 equal steps, equal intervals. So this is absolute grading, my AB to DD. My AA is relative grading, and pass is based on the median by 2. So that's why it's not absolute. It's based on the performance of the class for a specific subject. So that means even if the question paper is tough, assessment is tough, but finally it is a relative. So my boundaries are relative and my intervals are absolute. That's a unique assessment method, grading method at SPIT. Like I said about the academics, even your internship programs or the experiential learning, NPTEL courses or the liberal learning courses, they have a different kind of a grading system. We need to fit it into absolute grading. So here there is no relative as such, fixed steps. Now while calculating the semester grade point average SGPA and the cumulative grade point average CGPA, the formulas are given. So it's always based on the credits of the course multiplied by the pointer of that course you have acquired, and the sum of how many such type of courses you have done for that semester divided by the sum of the credits will give you SGPA, semester grade point average. However, the cumulative grade point average is every year, end of the year, how many courses you have done, their credits multiplied by the number of pointers you have acquired, divided by the total number of credits of that particular year will give you year-wise CGPA. After end of the final year, it is sum of all 4 years. That will give you picture of your CGPA, which will spell out your performance in 4 years of engineering, which is contributed through various program core, program electives, HSS, LLC, or the experiential learning, industry internship, research internship. However, in CGPA, we are not considering the liberal learning courses while calculating those credits and the pointers. Alright. So like I said, the promotion rules we have already discussed, the open house, and now from this academic year we also are also doing the assessment on online assessment, so that all the assessment sheets are available for the students without any hard copy. They are already scanned and preserved through soft copy. Alright, so this is about the examination manual of SPIT. So I hope this will give you a clear picture about various resources, various rules of academic exam rules, and while writing technical papers, do's and don'ts, and also we have a Turnitin software at the library. One should use it to find out is there any similarity is done called plagiarism check. Your content should not be copied more than 10% while publishing the papers, while writing the project reports, which I already discussed in my technical paper writing videos.